Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Superman and Lois Season 3. So we of course got the first trailer for the third and hopefully not final season of Superman and Lois, which will be coming our way on the 14th of March. So we got that last week sometime, and the premiere is just about, just under 2 months from now roughly. And that trailer definitely gave us stuff to not only look forward to, but also to ponder over and just ponder about until the season starts airing for us. Now, some of the stuff revolves around our titular characters of Superman and Lois Lane, obviously, but also Jordan Kent, aka Superboy, and even some stuff with the villains for this season and what they intend to do in regards to, spreading chaos, if you want to call it, for our heroes. So in this video, we're going to go over a bunch of those things, as well as a question that many people have been posing about DC on TV and various connections and all of that. Now, the first thing I want to bring up is actually just this photo here. So this is actually posted by the actor who's playing Atom Man, who you can see on the left. But the reason I'm posting this, you're like, oh, Paige, we've seen the new suit and stuff. This is like the best shot we've had of the suit, because it's always been like from a bit of a further distance, or if it is like a better quality photo, it's only the top half. So this is probably the best look we've had. Superman smiling. I mean, he's smiling with a villain, so question mark there, and a Nazi villain at the same time. But anyway, this is probably the best look at the suit. Even the cape looks good. Now, this is from episode 1, I think. Now, just quickly, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but the actor who's playing Atom Man said that he just wrapped. So they're like in the back half of the season, so I don't know if that means this is a consistent threat, or we meet him in episode 1, and then we pick up again with him later in the season, and maybe he's a henchman or something of Bruno Mannheim. I'm not too sure. Now, Atom Man obviously was in season 1, but those were in flashbacks within Metropolis. So, yeah, I guess if we're dealing with him, we're in Metropolis, I think. But anyway, the first proper thing, if you want to call it, that I wanted to discuss in this video is the topic of Superboy in this upcoming season of Superman and Lois. Now, of course, last season, we not only got some more progression with Jordan's powers after, they started to come out, I guess you could say, emerge. Emerge is actually probably the better word to use in this instance. So yeah, after they emerged in season 1, we saw more and more progression in season 2. They were sort of progressing to the point where he would eventually or officially be called Superboy, or just seen as Superboy. But then we of course got the Jonathan Kent from the Bizarro or Inverse world, where he looked like the classic Superboy from the comics in regards to the outfit and stuff, though he was pretty far off being what you'd expect Superboy to be on the show, which of course was the intention. But we did get to see Jordan go toe-to-toe with this altered version of Superboy and stand his ground, might I say, pretty well, becoming, more and more confident with his abilities in the process. So heading into season 3, I guess we're all wondering, does he take that final step into being a hero and not just someone in training? Now, there was only ever going to be like so long that the show could string Jordan along in a way in which we get to see him use his powers, but actually use them consistently like we see Superman do, for example, and become that hero. But the synopsis for this season and some footage from the trailer we got, last week sometime, definitely do tease an upwards trajectory for Jordan and the superhero side of his life. So the synopsis does reveal that the twins of Jordan and Jonathan will be pulled in separate directions, with Jonathan having to find purpose in himself that isn't related to football. So I'm assuming that means maybe he's not allowed to play football again still this season, I guess. I know I have to wait and see, but that definitely suggests it. And Jordan discovering what a superhero identity really means. And in the trailer, we do see Jordan going about that superhero side of his life, but we don't see too much of that struggle, if it will be portrayed as a struggle, on taking more of that superhero identity on board. And I think one thing that people are curious about is whether like Superman will play a major part in the development of Jordan, or if it may fall into someone else's hands, that someone else maybe being someone that's, already played a part previously, that being his granddad, General Lane or Sam Lane. Now, as we know based off the trailer for this season, we do know that General Lane will be back within the DOD, after, I guess, the replacement not existing anymore after dying last season. And we know that General Lane had a relationship with Superman previously within the DOD, where things were passed on, which would lead to Superman dealing with certain threats and dangers and all of that. But could we see some parts in season 3 where Jordan gets some of that intel, whether that is, General Lane saying that maybe Superman is preoccupied and needs other help, so extends an invitation to Jordan to fill that void, or it's done behind Superman's back as a way to help Jordan develop. Now, of course, this could lead into quite a bit of drama if this is not accepted by Superman, though I could see maybe Lois being the one that has a bigger issue with it. though she was the one that was saved by Jordan last season and saw that he was capable to deal with a decent sized threat when they were in like the X-Kryptonite distribution area. What could be an issue for Lois is maybe the size of the threat that Jordan could be dealing with this season, and maybe even like the heightened risk that could pose for him. But I'm sure we'll get some decent indication as to where Jordan's character arc and just that whole Superboy progression is going fairly early into the season once it starts airing. I don't think they'd string us along for too long at the beginning of season 3. Now, speaking of Superman and Lois season 3, there's a connection straight out of the gate with another DC TV show for this season, and that is Gotham Knights, because it's airing on the exact same night and they're premiering on the same night and everything. So I guess they're going to be twins for the rest of the season, or best buddies. But this has led people to wonder, is Superman and Lois and not Green Lantern and Gotham Knights going to be connected? Because of course we know from the end of last season with Superman and Lois, they disconnected themselves from the Arrowverse, where this show is not set on Earth Prime, like many believed it was for the first, pretty much the entire first 2 seasons. And then we had David Ramsey, who plays Diggle on both the Arrowverse stuff as well as Superman and Lois, saying that Gotham Knights was potentially going to be connected to the Superman and Lois Earth, though there was no other connection outside of him saying that. So will Superman and Lois and Gotham Knights be connected on the same Earth, in this upcoming season, whether it's, fully established or just a teased? And the easy answer is no. But the harder answer to give an explanation is maybe? I mean, we know there isn't superpowered heroes on Superman and Lois's Earth, but what about vigilantes? That was sort of like a grey area. Like, they said there was no real heroes and stuff, but vigilantes sort of operate in a different way. They're not as flashy as like a Superman or a Flash or an Aquaman or something like that. So maybe they're still there. And really, in the upcoming seasons, they could easily have the most minor of references that doesn't even fully connect them, just suggests that there's either a Superman out there or a Gotham City out there that's operating and everything like that. Like, maybe it's something in a newspaper or a TV news report or something like that about Superman and something happening there, or something happening in Gotham City, because we know in Gotham Knights that Batman dies. I think if we see on Superman and Lois a report about Bruce Wayne dying, then I guess that would just straight up say that they're connected. But if they just mention Gotham City and some weird things going on within there, I mean, that could be a decent connection there without fully connecting them. But also, I guess it depends what show has the reference if they do it, and if it's just one of the shows. I don't know. It'd be a tricky thing to do. I think the safer thing to be with this is because Gotham Knights doesn't look that amazing. And because it's not straight up spinning out of Superman and Lois, you'd let it play out for a season, see how things go, and then choose to connect them afterwards. I mean, I don't think there's any rush. I don't think anyone's screaming for a rush to connect the shows. So I think the easy answer to whether these 2 shows are going to be connected is a no. I think it's a pretty easy answer. But one thing that the trailer for this season of Superman and Lois that we got, which we should hopefully get another one in a few weeks, maybe once the Flash starts playing and stuff, maybe a longer trailer for Superman and Lois. But one thing that that the initial trailer gave was very Injustice vibes, and people are wondering whether they're not going to use the Joker, obviously, as a reference or a trigger point for that storyline stuff, but they might use Lex Luthor, and maybe he's really the actual big bad of the season, and he's the one he's the puppeteer, if you want to call it. He's pulling all the strings. Now, of course, we did have that rumored casting about a month or so ago, maybe a month and a half ago, roughly, with John Cryer, who played Lex on Supergirl, confirming that Lex was in talks to be on the show, but he would not be the one portraying Lex, that they said that they were going to move in a different direction. DC told him that directly. So it really makes you wonder with maybe Bruno Mannheim, who we're led to believe is going to be the person we're sort of going up against constantly as the big bad for this season, is maybe actually working for Lex Luthor, but maybe Lex Luthor has his own good intentions, if you want to call it, in regards to good perception from the public. So he doesn't want to get involved in any villainy or anything like that. And maybe he's going about his own things in a, trying to look good, get a good impression from the city. Or maybe he's in prison, and maybe he's controlling things from within prison, and Bruno Mannheim's the one doing it on the streets and stuff like that. But then this could build up to where there's just there's hints or something that Bruno Mannheim is not really the ringleader, and there's someone else above him, and then it's revealed later in the season that it's actually Lex Luthor. Now, it was rumored with this Lex casting that he would be in this season, but there was an option to be a regular in season 4 if it happens, which would, suggest that, maybe the big bad of that season as well. So maybe even he might not be the big bad of season 3. It's still Bruno Mannheim, but Bruno Mannheim was still doing all of his bidding for Lex Luthor, if that makes sense. So that would be an interesting thing if it does go down. Obviously, the Lex Luthor thing was not confirmed anywhere, but this would also be something that they would keep under wraps, because if it's integral to the story, like I don't think the CW, Warner Brothers, DC and stuff would go out of their way to confirm it. But there's been no further word on this at this stage or any leaked casting and stuff. But then again, not much stuff leaks from Superman and Lois. It's actually pretty rare anything does come out. So if they can keep anything a secret, I think it would be, or if they could keep one thing a secret, might I say, it'd definitely be this. They'd definitely be able to keep this a secret. But once again, it'd be a bit of a wait and see. But yeah, guys, that's it to go over in this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on the Superboy stuff, the Superman and Lois Gotham Knight stuff, thoughts on that photo, and also, do you think Lex is potentially the actual proper villain of the season, or at least the one pulling the strings, and maybe it plays out further in a potential season 4? Let me know your thoughts down there in the comments, and of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.